71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, and the oceans hold most of this. The first life forms were born in the oceans, and marine and freshwater ecosystems continue to be hotspots of biodiversity. Biological diversity is the sum total of all species of living organisms on our planet, and the air, land, and water ecosystems of which they are part. Fishing communities, including indigenous peoples, have protected and relied on aquatic biodiversity for generations. This biodiversity is the basis for their food systems and food sovereignty. Small-scale fisheries play a crucial role in feeding the planet, and they employ millions of people. Healthy aquatic ecosystems and the well-being of fishing communities are thus linked and vital. Fishing communities must be the main actors in making decisions on the health of the oceans. The Convention on Biological Diversity is a historic international treaty adopted in 1992. It has three main objectives: conserve nature, sustainably use natural resources, and ensure that the benefits arising from the use of genetic resources are shared equitably. It brings together 196 national governments, along with scientists, indigenous peoples, organizations, NGOs, and other stakeholders, to set the agenda for conservation and natural resource management globally. The Convention's decisions are particularly relevant to fishing communities. Destructive industries damage inland and coastal biodiversity and the rights of fishing communities. On the other hand, conservation measures are most successful when they are led by local communities, ensuring their knowledge is recognized and their rights are protected. The parties to the convention, or governments, make decisions collectively and report on their national plans and actions. They are assisted by several working groups that give scientific advice and help implement the diverse programs of the convention. These cover important subjects, such as biodiversity in marine and coastal areas, in inland waters, and in island ecosystems. They also include the management of protected areas and issues of sustainable use, traditional knowledge, and gender in biodiversity. The CBD calls on states to preserve and maintain the knowledge and sustainable practices of indigenous peoples and local communities. And so, it is important that fishing communities participate in conservation and management at the national level. Fisherfolk organizations have been participating in the convention since 2004. They have advocated for the protection of their rights to resources and the recognition of their active roles in sustainable fisheries. Conservation should not deprive them of their livelihoods. They now have another tool, the first international legal instrument dedicated to small-scale fisheries, adopted by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in 2014. The CBD and the SSF guidelines are both closely linked to the Sustainable Development Goals. A new handbook explores these links and guides fisherfolk organizations and their supporters on how to engage in biodiversity processes at the national and international levels. Using illustrative examples, the handbook explores the links between small-scale fisheries and protected areas, marine spatial planning, marine pollution, freshwater biodiversity, traditional knowledge, human rights, and gender equity. In line with the SSF guidelines, biodiversity policies and governance should integrate the human rights of indigenous people and local communities. Supported by this vision, fisherfolk can become empowered stewards of our blue planet.